I sold one product for 30 days and did 60 lakhs in revenue. And in this case study video, I'm revealing everything. I'll show you my product, I'll show you my website, I'll show you my ads, and I'll take you back inside my ads manager to show you step by step on a daily basis what decisions I made to scale to those numbers. I'll also take you back inside my Shopify dashboard, and there's a complete profit and loss statement at the end of this video to show you what our net profit was, because as we all know, revenue doesn't matter, net profit does. That's it, straight to the point, no fluff. Let's dive right in. So this was the product that we sold. It's a portable vacuum cleaner for all the car lovers, people who want to keep their cars clean. You can see it's super handy, super portable. It has this power switch, which makes it come on. As you can see, I've already used it in quite a few places. So yeah, it's pretty useful for people, who want to keep the interiors clean. It also comes with this nozzle, which is used to, reach hard to reach surfaces, probably something like this within your car. So as you can see, pretty useful product. These are the kind of products which actually solve a problem for the people and target a very specific niche market. So yeah, that's the product. Let's get on with it. Alright, so first things first, let's look at the website. Here I'm going to paste the link and we'll go to the website and see how it looked. So this is a simple product page that we made. As you can see, it's just got some pictures. It's got these 5 pictures. We gave it a cool name, ProVac, and we put in the trademark sign as well, and just a portable car vacuum cleaner. We made sure to have the reviews here. Now, as you can see, these are not actual reviews. It's not a website that we used or an app that we used to get the reviews. This is simple text, because initially when we were testing the product, we didn't want to invest a lot of money into the apps as well or writing down the reviews. So we just slapped on these 5 stars. That's it, because it actually had 5 stars on Amazon, by the way, and that's why we did that here. We priced the product at $8.99, as you already know now, and we mentioned tax included, free shipping today as well under that. Simple add to cart button. We made sure that the colors of the website were very neutral, and the add to cart button really popped out and the sale thing really popped out. So we wanted to always make sure that these two were very, very visible, because your add to cart button always needs to be a little brighter than the rest of the website so it stands out. So as you can see, the whole website is done just with 2 basic colors, right? This background color and this shade of blue essentially, right? So as you can see, this is also part of our logo. We call this Desi project, this website, that's what it was called. And as you can see, if I zoom in here, that's what it was called, and this is the color that we simply picked up and just started using all over the website, right? So moving on, simple structure for the product description is headline, byline, GIF, headline, byline, GIF, and that's what you'll see here. So headline, byline, GIF, simple as that, right? Once again, headline, byline, GIF, headline, byline, GIF. This is the easiest way that you can build a product page which looks super clean and also lets people know about all of the benefits and the features. So now let's just go over a little bit of the text that we actually used, right? So keep your car spotless with a powerful portable cleaner. Again, just appealing to the right kind of people, because people who are car enthusiasts who like to keep their cars clean, they would obviously want this product, and this is who it was geared towards as well. Right, so designed for a quick and easy dirt and dust removal. So see, the whole point of the headline is to tell a benefit, right? Like, what is the end goal for the user, right? They'll get a spotless car. That was the end goal, right? And the description can be the features, like this is how the product works. So benefit, feature, and then of course like a visual cue, which is the GIF, right? So this is how we kept it super simple, right? So as you can see, again, headline, byline, GIF, headline, byline, GIF. Again, we use these 2 drop downs, right, just to tell them about our shipping speeds and how much time it would take for shipping. So all orders are processed within and shipped within 72 hours and delivery within 3 to 7 days, and all orders come with free shipping. So you can simply add these into your Shopify theme. These are called collapsible rows, and if you go into edit your Shopify theme, you'll see these right there. So this is the Sense theme, by the way, and this is a default Shopify theme. I don't like to use a lot of paid and premium themes, especially when I'm starting out a project or starting out a new store. It doesn't really make any sense to invest a lot of money in the beginning when you're starting out. Even while scaling, I don't really use any paid themes. The Shopify free themes are actually optimized for Shopify and don't really take up a lot of time to load either, right? And then we had this money back guarantee that simply just please get in touch and read our return policy and our shipping policy, right? Simple as that. No real reviews here, as you can see, no real reviews. Simple product page, and that is about it. Now let's jump in and let me show you the ads that we used. Alright, let's take a look at the ad now that we used to actually scale this product. We actually ended up trying a lot of different creatives, over 15 different creatives, but this is the one ad that actually helped us scale the most. So we'll just look at it first and then we'll dive deep and I'll tell you what I think about it and why I think it worked so well. So let's just watch the ad first.
वाह, प्रोडक्ट हो तो ऐसा जो 2 काम अकेले ही कर दे, चाहे वैक्यूम क्लीनर की तरह कूड़ा साफ करना हो या फिर चीजों पर जमी हुई धूल मिट्टी एक झटके में साफ करनी हो। कुछ इसी तरह का अमेजिंग प्रोडक्ट मैं आज आपके लिए लेकर आई हूँ, जो कि एक मिनी पोर्टेबल वैक्यूम क्लीनर है जो साथ ही में ब्लोअर का भी काम करता है। ये एकदम लाइट वेट प्रोडक्ट है, चाहे कहीं भी लेकर जाओ। अब बात करें बैटरी कैपेसिटी की, तो सिंगल चार्ज में 6 से 8 घंटों तक का बैकअप देगा। अभी ऑर्डर करने के लिए नीचे दिए गए ऑर्डर नाउ बटन पे क्लिक करें।
Okay, so as you can see, it's a simple 30-second ad, but it worked really well and we were able to scale it to some massive numbers. But why? Why do I think this worked? Because it has 3 to 4 different things that are going on for it at the same time. First of all of the clips, right, are very appealing because every time the person is shown doing something different, right, and doing something almost outrageous, like picking up this phone with this vacuum, right, or simply just blowing all of the dust away in the car and cleaning this keyboard. Nobody cleans their keyboard in their hand with a vacuum cleaner. But since these are so sensationalized clips, they keep the viewer hooked, right? Because if I'm watching something crazy, watching something outrageous, then I'll keep watching it, right? So that's the first thing. Secondly, the hook was really strong. Picking up a phone with a vacuum with the Hindi text in between, because we were selling this in India, the regional text helps a lot, right? So this was the second and the third thing, the regional text and the first hook. So these first 3 things I think were really powerful for this particular video. And the fourth thing I think is that there's a lot of different clips of doing just crazy things within the video, and it's very fast paced, right? And blowing up this little tube and this water bed or like air bed or whatever you want to call it. But that's just the thing, nobody's gonna use it for that, but it's just a way to show something super outrageous and make the viewer stay hooked on it. Okay, all right, now it's time to jump inside the ads manager and actually look at how we managed to scale this product, what decisions we made. We actually scaled the ads, we killed the ads, how many creative tests did we do, what strategies did we do for actual scaling. So let's jump into the ads manager and let's take it from there. Okay, welcome to the ads manager. We'll go dive deep into what decisions we made and how we scaled this product. So as you can see, we're on the 20th of August 2023 and you can see that there's 0 ad spend because we started this product on the 21st of August and I think we managed to do it till 25th of September. So all in all, as you can see, 6,67,000 rupees spent for a total ROAS of 8.69. Although it's a little bit higher than that. I'll show you the Shopify numbers later when we do the whole profit breakdown, but I'm just showing you that 21st August to 25th September was the runtime for this project, somewhere around 36 days, 37 days. And yeah, that's what we're gonna go and dive deep into each day, how we launched. Let's dive right into it. So on the 21st of August, which is day number 1, as you can see, the amount spent is only on 2 of these campaigns, a BCT campaign and a KT campaign. Now, BCT stands for broad creative testing, where we do all of our creative testing, and the KT stands for keyword testing, where we do our audience testing essentially. So let's just select these 2 first because we don't really need any other ones. So filter by selection, that's it, right? So on the first day in the BCT campaign, you can see once again, we ended up testing 5 different creatives, ad number 13, 7, 4, 12 and 10, right? So on day 1, with just 350 rupees per ad set, all of the targeting within these ad sets is broad. It's completely broad. I'll show you right now. Right, so as you can see, this is the whole setup, right? I'm going to show you for ad 7 because that's our winning ad. So let's just see that, right? So as you can see, the setup is for website to maximize number of conversions with the pixel attached, for optimized for purchase, of course, no cost per result go needed. Budget, of course, is 2109 here, but on the starting day, it was much lesser, somewhere around 350 rupees. And we started this on the 21st at somewhere around 3:25 p.m. I know it's an odd time. I usually tell people to start their campaigns at like 12 a.m., midnight, or like 7 a.m. maximum. But yeah, this was an odd time to launch. Sometimes we do that. It's okay, right? Moving down, audience, as you can see, we just excluded some of these pin codes. And once again, these pin codes were not excluded from day 1. They were excluded much later when we actually had the data of which pin codes to actually exclude, right? So we did not exclude them from the beginning. Location was set as India. That's it. No exclusions were entered in this ad set in the beginning. Moving on, age 18 to 65 plus, like I said, completely broad, no interest targeting whatsoever, and advantage plus placements as well, right? So completely broad, only the creative is the difference in all of the ad sets, and that's what we need to do because we are trying to test just one variable at a time, which is the ad itself, right? So that's what the BCT does. And if I just find the ad right here, as you can see, the same thing, just, you know, like a normal primary text. This portable vacuum cleaner is a must-have for every car enthusiast. If you love your car, best keep it clean. Compact, portable, and simply the link. Cash on delivery available was the headline, and the call to action was shop now with the normal link entered in the description tab here, right? So that's it. Facebook page was of course created under the same website name. This was a simple setup like I showed you, right? So let's go back to the ad sets. As you can see, day number 1, just testing 5 different ads, got 1 purchase each on the 4 ads. Ad 7 obviously popped off with a 15x ROAS on day 1. So that was a really good sign. Now jumping into the keyword testing campaign, right? On the first day, once again, 5 different ad sets with different keywords in them, right? That's it. That's the one variable that's different here, right? That the audience within each ad set is different. So as you can see, in SUV, we use different SUVs. We use stacking as well as single interest. So in this one, I think we made a stack, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so as you can see, Mahindra Scorpio, Mahindra XUV, Toyota Fortuner, these are all like different cars, right? These are different SUVs, so we just tagged these names because people who own these cars might be interested in getting this product and, you know, keeping their cars clean. And as you can see, on day 1, all of them worked decently well except for the Fast and Furious one. Now in each of these ad sets, you might be wondering, in the broad testing campaign, we had 1 ad in 1 ad set. In this one, we had different, all of those 5 ads that we tested in the broad testing campaign, we entered in each of these keyword testing ad sets as well. So the structure was simple: 1 campaign, which is broad, 5 different ad sets, 1 ad in each. For the keyword testing campaign, 1 campaign, 5 different ad sets with different keywords in them, and 5 ads in each of the keyword testing campaign in the ad set, right? Now, why I do that is essentially to test quickly the creative and the audience. Now, if I know in the broad testing campaign, the ad 7 is giving me the best results, and in this also, if ad 7 starts to perform, I know that ad 7 is a clear winner. But in this, as you can see, ad 4 and ad 13 actually gave us the best results. So sometimes with keyword testing campaigns, you can end up finding even more creatives that will work well with a certain set of audience, right? So that was the first day. It was pretty simple. First day we spent 3,182 and made back 20,000 rupees for a 6.58x ROAS. So moving on to day number 2, right? Day number 2 was, again, we only had these 2 campaigns running. As you can see, if I remove those 2 selections, again, just the spend was on these 2 campaigns. And in a broad campaign, once again, we tested a lot more creatives, right? A lot more creatives, as in we only duplicated ad 7. You can see, because we saw ad 7 starting to perform, we made duplicates of that creative within the same campaign. Now, why do we do that, right? Because we want to test different audience pockets of the same audience, right? This creative is essentially hitting one audience in the broad spectrum and which is buying from us. Now, what we want to do is we want to multiply and duplicate our ad and make it go to find different sort of audience pockets within our same targeting, right? So as you can see, on this day, did not get a lot of purchases. Second day was not the best for us, and ad 12 and ad 4 got sales. Ad 7 did not get sales on this day as well. Now, you have to keep in mind, whenever you're making a lot of duplicates for one ad, you might see a dip in the performance the next day when you launch, because now the algorithm has to serve this same ad to 6 different audience pockets. So you can see some fragmentation, you can see some dips in the performance. Don't worry about it. Let it run for a couple of other days, right? As you can see, on this day, our average ROAS on this whole campaign was only 0.55. So yeah, a little bit of a dip, but it's okay. A keyword testing campaign, again, also did not have the best results. We also made some duplicates. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we made 5 duplicates each of the ad sets that got us sales on the first day. Now you can see that this is a lot of horizontal scaling being done at the same time, right? Because we're trying to get as much data as quickly as possible, and we're trying to increase our spend drastically to get the data drastically. But sometimes it does backfire, just like here. So on day 2, it was pretty bad. We spent around 8,700 rupees and only got 12 purchases worth 10,788 for a ROAS of 1.23. So it's pretty bad, but that's okay, right? Now on day number 3, which is August 23rd, you can see our average ROAS is 9.34, right? So before I dive deep into what happened on this day, let me just tell you, sometimes the best thing you gotta do to let your ads run is to let them run. Be patient, let the algorithm do its thing. The algorithm knows better than you and I. Simple as that, right? So let's go into our BCD campaign. Let's see what happened. We shut down all the other ads. As you can see, on this day, only this one ad ran. We shut down every other thing that was running for the previous 2 days because we only saw the potential in this one. And you can see 11.05 was our reward. Now, that's what I mean by optimizing. When you're optimizing ads, that's what that means. Optimizing means scaling your winners and killing your non-performers. So this day, we did the negative optimization, which is essentially killing your non-performers. A positive optimization is essentially giving your winners more spend or more fuel, but negative one means just simply killing out what's not working to make your averages better, right? So that's what we did. Ad 7, only one running on this day in this campaign, killed it at an 11.05x. In a keyword testing campaign, only 3 ad sets ran because last 2 days gave us the results that these were the indicators that these 3 ad sets are going to perform the best, and that's what we did. We let them run. These 2 performed decent at 6.10 and 6.13, but SUVs popped off with a 14.07x. So again, just the reward for negative optimization and actually just waiting it out. Sometimes people get panicky, they don't get the results in 2 days and they just, like, okay, this is not going to work out. That's just not how meta advertising works. That's not how e-com works. You gotta give it time, right? So that was day number 3. Let's quickly move on to day number 4, which is August 24th. Once again, only 2 campaigns running, but as you can see, the number of purchases have drastically increased because we're now doing positive optimizations, right? And our ROAS has gone bonkers at like a 16.87. So in our broad creative test, once again, we made simply 2 new duplicates and we increased the budget a little bit. That's all we did, right? So ad 7 and ad 7 duplicate number 1 and duplicate number 2. 20x ROAS, 12x ROAS, and 16.8x ROAS, right? So again, duplication, finding different pockets within the same audience and trying to get the best results and simply just being patient, right? In our keyword testing campaign, again, only ran 1 more duplicate than the previous day. The previous day, these 3 ad sets were running. On this day, we simply duplicated the SUV into a higher budget, which is 1,500 bucks. And you can see on day 1 also 13.46, 21.45, 23.45, 12.57. Crazy ROAS, 17.53x ROAS average for this campaign. So going crazy, and this is just day number 4, and that's how quickly you will start finding your winning products. When you know that a product is going to work well, this is how you will see it, right? This is the kind of data that you will start seeing. So when you see numbers like this, you know something good's about to happen. Okay, so on this day you can see 4,700 rupees spent, 80,000 rupees made, almost 17x ROAS, right? Moving on, August the 25th, right? Once again, only 2 campaigns running. Let's go into our BCT. Started testing some more ads, as you can see. So these 3 duplicates were running. These 5 new creatives are something that we started testing on this day. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. I always try to name my ads so I know I can always denote them by a number, right? So that's just the easiest way for me. You can also start doing the same, right? So on this day, as you can see, the 3 previous ones are winning ad sets, are still our winning ad sets. They're doing particularly well at a 26x ROAS now, 21, 26 and 16. These 5 new ads, not the performance that we were hoping for. Ad 7 is way miles ahead of the performance area. So when you're trying to test new creatives, if it does not match up to your original creatives, there's no point adding it to your other ad sets or other campaigns, because if this ad is working so well, it's touching a 26x ROAS, that too at scale with like the most purchases, and this is only at a 5x, this is not going to work out in the long term, because The algorithm is clearly showing you that this ad can handle scale and can handle the number of purchases as well, and can handle the number of the amount spent as well. So it's giving us better ROAS at a higher budget, whereas this is giving us a bad ROAS at a lower budget. So obviously it cannot match up with these three ads, so we're not going to run them on the next day. And that's just how you do creative testing. In our keyword testing, once again, no changes made. Let all of these four ads run. 29x, 19x, 19x, 18x, once again 21.12x average ROAS. Good things are about to happen. We're now super excited and pumped about this project. I'm pretty sure you can imagine why. So on this day, 7,600 rupees spent, 145 purchases worth 1,30,000 with a 17x ROAS. Did really well, super happy. This is just 5th day, right? This is how quick your whole e-com journey can change. 5 days. It took us 5 days to spend 7,600 rupees to make back 1,30,000. When somebody tells you don't give up when it comes to e-com, simply don't give up, because that's the kind of stuff that starts happening if you don't give up. Cool. Let's move on to day number 6, August the 26th. As you can see, now we've added a third campaign, which is a scaling CBO campaign. We'll come to that, but first let's talk about our initial 2 campaigns. The BCT, once again, is still running some of these. I thought I must have paused these by then, but again, it's always good to give a second day, maybe a second opinion. Think of it like that, a second day to one of the newer ads that you're running. You know, sometimes you don't get the results on the first day, but you can on the second day. The algorithm starts rewarding you once again for being patient. I guess that's what I was trying to do here. But again, I don't see a lot of great performance by any of these. However, our ad 7, copy number 1, copy 2 and the original are still popping off at almost an 18-19x ROAS. So we're super happy. Creative testing is always a part of it. We're allocating a certain budget, and even if we don't get the result out of it, that's okay, because we only need that one ad that can be scaled really high. And as you can see, we've also increased the budget here. We're now spending 1,000 rupees a day per ad set on the ones that are working. Right now, our scaling CBO is essentially just 4 different ad sets from both of those BCT and KT campaigns put into a third CBO campaign and just given a 5,000 rupee per day budget. That's it. Like, there's no rocket science here. Simply pick out your best ad sets, combine them and put them into a scaling CBO and give it a really high budget. That's it. That's the strategy. It's not rocket science, like I said. And you can see these are the 3 keyword testing ad sets and this one broad ad set that were put into this third scaling CBO campaign on this day, on day number 6. You can see it spent 5,000 rupees, got 1,02,000 again at a 20x ROAS. It's a no-brainer because we already know that these ad sets work, right? So what's the point of just, keeping them to yourself? Just simply put them in a new CBO and give them as much jet fuel as possible so you can, they can take off. And that's what they exactly did here. Day number 1 for the CBO, 5,000 rupees spent, 1,02,000 made. Crazy numbers. Started loving it here, of course. On this day, spent almost 15,000 rupees to make back 2,37,000 rupees for a 15.9x ROAS. So day number 7, week 1 ends here on August the 27th. Once again, only 3 campaigns running. No biggie, no big changes here. You can see in our BCT, still these 5 ads are running. Actually, just 4 now. Ad 1 has been shut down. Ad 7, 1, 2 and our original are still popping off at a 26x, 18x, 19x. Again, no big changes, just a little bit of negative optimization by turning off one ad set, which was not performing well at all. In the keyword testing campaign, let's see what's happening here. Once again, just the previous 4 ad sets running just like before. No changes whatsoever at a 17.57x average ROAS. All good, all sunshine and rainbows right here. In our scaling CBO, again, 5,000 rupees spent, 79,000 made. Not a 20x, but again, a 15.5x is not bad either, especially within just the first week. So that concludes the first week of testing. Now, this was our testing and a little bit of a scaling phase. As you can see, these are the kind of tactics that you have to apply. It's not very difficult. You just have to be able to read the patterns, read your numbers, and just take logical steps, make logical decisions. You don't need to scale too high. You don't need to test very vigorously. But whenever you do find something that works, you got to go all in. You got to have your foot on the pedal and just go crazy, right? So let's move on to week number 2. All right, so we're in week number 2, which starts on 28th of August. And as you can see, we have 4 campaigns that we spent money on. So we're just going to go ahead and select these 4. So we're only seeing those. Now, compared to the last week, you can see there's one more campaign here, CBO number 2. We'll get to it. But first, let's talk about our initial campaigns that were still running, right? So in our BCT campaign, you can see we're only spending money on these 3 ad sets, which are performing really well for us from day 1, which is ad 7, copy 1 and copy 2. And on this day also 13.02x ROAS, working really well. We're not touching a lot of these ad sets because we don't want to make so many fluctuations, right? The more you tamper with the algorithm, the less likely you're to get constant results. So you don't want to keep tampering with it. In our keyword testing campaign, once again, we're spending money on some of these ad sets which are running from the previous week, and we have some new ad sets, in fact, that we are testing now, which is just new keywords, right? It's new keywords and actually some old keywords which are just duplicated at higher budgets. As you can see, SUV 1500 has now been duplicated to 5,000 rupees a day. You can see on day number 1, it's again giving us a great ROAS 13.37. And this is how you just scale your ads. Whatever is working, just duplicate it to a higher budget. That's the easiest way to scale your ads, and that's exactly what we're doing here. And as you can see, we're running the same keywords, just and some duplicates at higher budgets. As you can see, a 12.53x ROAS, which is pretty damn good, 154 purchases. In a third scaling CBO, it's running just as good. You can see just the same 4 ad sets. We're not making any changes whatsoever, spending 6,200 rupees to make 64,000, again a 10x above ROAS. Now, we started a second scaling CBO on this day because we are seeing some good results. So let's see, we only added these 3 keyword targeting ad sets in this CBO. In the previous CBO, there's a broad ad set as well. In this one, we're not adding that. We're only making it a keyword targeting CBO, right? And we're doing this again in order to just increase our ad spend without vertically increasing our spend on a lot of these ad sets. Because if I had to go into the keyword testing campaign and just increase the budget on this, I would have to increase the budget by a lot, and that can reset the learning phase of the ad set, and we do not want to do that. So we're simply just bundling them up, putting them in a new CBO, giving it a 10,000 rupee budget on the first day itself. And you can see a 1,23,000 in sales with a 12.32x average ROAS. So on this day, you can see 31,000 rupees spent, 3,70,000 rupees made for an average ROAS of almost 12. Now, moving on to 29th of August, right? Once again, we're spending on just these 4 campaigns. You can see no more spend has been done. Oh, actually, we did start a new Advantage Plus campaign. My bad right there. Okay, cool. So we'll just go ahead and select these 5. All right, we filter by selection. So we're looking at those. Now, as you can see, in addition to the scaling CBO2, we added an Advantage Plus campaign as well. We'll get to it as well, right? So first, BCT campaign. Once again, just the same 3 ad sets, same spend, good ROAS. In our keyword testing campaign, once again, same ad sets, no changes, simply good ROAS 10.79. Little bit of fluctuation is normal, coming from an 11 to a 10 or going up to a 12. That's totally normal. Scaling CBO number 1, right? In this one, once again, no changes. Probably increase the ad spend here a little bit, right? On the 28th, let's see if we had some lesser spend on this day. Yeah, so 6,200, we just increased it by like 25%, 30% and spent 8,400 on this day. Increasing campaign budgets on CBOs is really easy, and it doesn't affect the learning phase a lot as compared to changing it in an ABO ad set, which is just ad set budget optimization. Compared to that, a CBO campaign, you can increase the budget really drastically and still see fine constant performance. CBO number 2, which we started the day before, once again, just spending 13,000 rupees on this day, again 30% extra, right? We just increased the budget on this day, and again a 9.96x ROAS. You can see a deflation in the ROAS sometimes when you increase the budgets, but overall that's totally fine. Now, we started an Advantage Plus campaign. So Advantage Plus campaigns are the best campaigns to start when you have a lot of data. So as you can see, we already are getting around 500 purchases apart from the Advantage Plus campaign in a single day, right? So our pixel, our ad account has a lot of data, and that's the best time you want to start an Advantage Plus campaign as well, because Advantage Plus campaign, you don't have any control over the targeting, you don't have any control over who is going to see your ads, no keyword targeting, no age range targeting, none of that stuff. But that's good because now the algorithm says that I have enough data, let me take care of the targeting, right? So that's what we did here. And as you can see, we just bundled up a lot of our good ads, just some duplicates of ad 7, this ad 14 as well inside it. And that's it. We just let it run. You can see on day one, it only actually had just this one ad running in it, which is again our favorite ad 7. And just this one ad got us 120 purchases with a 10.66x ROAS. So this day we spent 50 grand and made back 5,36,000. So that's just, this is the scaling phase now. Second week is scaling phase. We're going all in. Moving on to the 30th of August. Once again, I don't believe we must have made any changes. So yesterday we spent 50,000. On this day was 54,000. As you can see again, BCT will be the same thing. These same 3 ad sets. Keyword testing is again going to be similar, same ad sets that spending money, right? Scaling CBO 1, once again, spending the same amount of money. Actually, luxury brands did not spend a lot of money on this day. We have not turned it off. It's just not spending money because algorithm says ad 7 is doing the best. Let it get its most spend. That's the beauty of CBOs. You don't really have to control everything. Scaling CBO 2, once again, just the same 3 ad sets running really fine, and Advantage Plus campaign also at a normal 10,000 rupee budget. So again, this day spent 55,000 almost, made 5,13,000. Lesser ROAS than the day before, but still 571 purchases. That's pretty good. You can sacrifice a little bit of the ROAS to get more profits, to get more revenue in fact. Moving on to the 31st of August. Now, as you can see, we increased our ad spend drastically here, 50,000 to 75,000. That's a 50% increase in just one day. And let me show you how to actually increase your ad spend drastically by 50%. So if we go into the broad creative test, you can see a lot more new ad creatives are being tested on this day. Ad 14, 19, 17, so many new creatives. And if I actually have to count, we tested 11 new creatives on this day. Guys, creative testing is the core of finding the best creatives and a good account structure. You have to allot at least 10 to 15% of your budget on creative testing at least once a week or once every 10 days or once every 2 weeks. That's really, really important, right? So that's what we did here. Of course, we didn't get the best results from day one. Maybe this one performed pretty well, ad number 14, as you can see, and probably this one, ad 7 new copy, which is again, same ad, we just changed the primary text, we changed the headline just to make Facebook think that it's a new ad. That's all we're doing here, right? That's how we increase the ad spend in this campaign. In our keyword testing campaign, yep, as you can see, lot of new ad sets coming up. So these few ones which are spending over 1,500 or 7,500 even on the first day, these are our old ones. These are our new ones, right? So this one and this one. We're doing a lot of stacking. We're testing new keywords. We're stacking new keywords. We're narrowing down. We're just experimenting at this point because we want to find new audiences who we want to show our ads to. We know we have a killer offer. We know people are converting. We know we have good revenues. We know we have good profit margins, high ROAS. We just want to make sure that we are finding new audiences constantly to give them that ad so we can even, increase our revenue and increase our profits. So as you can see, 29,000 rupees just on this day in this campaign. Scaling CBO2, as you can see, the budgets for these have also been increased from, I think on the 30th, they were much lesser than this. Yeah, 9,000, 15,000. Again, pretty much the same, but this one has been increased by 2,000 rupees, right? So you can see once again, 17,340 spent. Advantage Plus campaign is also at a constant spend. So on this day, we actually increased majority of our spend in these two campaigns because these are the campaigns that are the basis for these 3 campaigns, right? Because unless we find new creatives and new audiences, we can't input them in the scaling CBO1, scaling CBO2 or Advantage Plus campaign. We need to constantly find new audiences and new creatives that we can scale and the combinations of both of those things. So on this day, 75,000 rupees spent, 5,70,000 rupees made. So again, touching the 6 lakh rupee mark. Now, September 1st, this is when things go wrong, right? So let's dive into this the next. Okay, let me just show you what happened. Almost through 2 weeks, but on the 1st of September, things went a little bit wrong. As you can see, 0 rupees spent. So this was the day when our ad account actually got blocked. And of course, as you guys know, ad account bans are just part of the game. That just happens when you're doing meta advertising, Facebook IG advertising. It's just part of it. So I know it can be demotivating sometimes, and especially when you're reaching 6 lakhs in revenue, you're spending so much money, you're strategizing on your campaigns so much, on your ad sets so much, you're testing new creatives, new audiences, and suddenly Meta just says, bro, that's it, calm down. I mean, sometimes it just happens, you got to get through it. So what we did was, I think we were banned for 6 days from the first, I think from 1st to the 6th. Yeah, as you can see, 0 rupees spent for the whole week, right? So again, for 6 days, no ad spend whatsoever. We obviously got some residual purchases. This is just, people buying they watched the ad like 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, and now they, managed to buy today. So it attributes the purchase to these campaigns, but again, 0 spend. On these days, the best thing that you can do is make sure that your operations are on point. You are, analyzing all of your data. And of course, we're going to dive deep into the profit and loss statement for this whole project at the end of the video. So don't finish just yet. That's the main part, like how much did we actually end up earning. So I'll of course be telling you about that. Now, what do you do in this situation, right? Your ad account is banned. You're spending so much money. First of all, you submit an appeal, of course, you wait. You always need to have backups ready, of course. If you want to know how to, get your backups ready, get in touch with me. I'll make sure that you guys know, what the solution is for that. But in this scenario, in this one, you just sometimes gotta wait it out, And of course, this was an agency account as well. So we were in touch with the agency to get our ad account back. But sometimes, stuff happens. Meta screws you over, zucks you, and you can't really do much. So yeah, we just decided to wait it out. Meanwhile, we made sure that our orders were shipped out on time. We were tracking all of our data. If we had any customer complaints, we were tending to that. So you can somehow just sort of think of it as downtime in the business. It's okay. It's normal. It happens. No need to panic. Just make sure that you prepared. Let's move on now. Okay, so 1st to 6th, bad days, right? 7th of September, we got our ad account back finally. Just a week's wait worth. That's it, that's fine. It happens, like I said. So as you can see, on this day, we simply restarted our ads, and that's it. We got back on track, spent 37,000 rupees to make back 3,27,000. Of course, the ROAS was not the same as before because our ads were paused for almost a week. Now, an important thing here to note is that you can have your ads paused for up to 7 days and they will not exit the learning phase. But if your ad is paused over 7 days, it will exit the learning phase, right? So that's a very important thing to know. That's directly from Facebook. So even if some days you feel like, ads are not performing well, you can pause them without any repercussions, but not over a week, right? 7 days is the max window. Luckily for us, it was just 6 days. So on the 7th day, we came back with 8.73x ROAS, right? Now, you'll see on 8th of September, we did something different. As you can see, these are the 5 campaigns that are currently running, right, on this day. Now, you'll see, once I move it to the 8th, boom, only one of them was common. We started 4 completely new campaigns. Now, why did we do that? Because we knew it had almost been a week and the existing campaigns were completely about to lose out on their optimization, right? So that was our assumption. That was assumption number 1. Of course, we did not know that for a fact, but that was a fair assumption to make. Plus, we had a new landing page, right? We had made a new custom landing page as well. Not custom landing page, essentially just making some little changes and, upgrading the pictures, upgrading the description and stuff like that, which you saw, which I showed you. That was our upgraded landing page. Obviously, for our initial ones, we were not using, that landing page. So we thought it was the best idea to actually move the campaigns to a completely new landing page whatsoever. And hence, we created these 4 new campaigns itself. So let's dive deep into all of these, right? So these are the 4 campaigns that started running. I'm just going to go ahead and select them. Right, 8th of September, right, a CBO is running right now. This is again for our same keywords that had been running previously for us before. So it was a fair assumption to make that they will run just as good, and they did okay with an 8.2x ROAS. We had our Advantage Plus campaign. Again, this is a new one as well. This did not perform as good, but of course, Advantage Plus campaigns do take some time to optimize. But especially since we had a lot of data on the ad account already, we were pretty sure that this would take off as well. A broad testing campaign, of course, is running as well. You can see ad 7, ad 7, ad 7, ad 7, ad 7, and ad 14. So we just want to, when we restart, we just want to focus on our past winners. We don't want to keep trying something new. This is the time to just bring your past winners back to life because they've been dead for a while, right? That's all you need to do here. And that's all we did, except for this ad 14, because this was also performing decently well in the previous days. In our keyword testing campaign, once again, just the ad sets that were running good. We essentially just changed the link in our ads. That's all we did, and we just let it run. Some of them went to a 10x, right? But overall ROAS was not as good, right? So spent 26,000 rupees, made back 2,27,000. Moving to the 9th of September, you can see ad spend has decreased quite a bit because we were not seeing the best performance. We just decreased our ad spend across 4 campaigns, and you can see the average ROAS went up, right? We wanted to focus on profitability more than the volume because we had already done so much volume. This was a time to increase our profits a little bit more. So that's what we did on the 9th of September. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at these on a weekly basis. So we'll go through the next few days, not single day by day. We'll go through them by week, right? So let's look at that. So from the 10th to the 16th, let's see what we did here. Once again, 67,000 rupees spent in the whole week, right? So our ad spends are completely like lowered now. That's why I didn't want to show it day by day, right? Because our ad spend this was the kind of amount we were spending on a daily basis. Now we've come down to a weekly basis because we started seeing a dip in the performance. A lot of competitors had entered the market as well. So we knew it was time that we needed it to calm down. We needed to lower our expectations and lower the ad spend at the same time. So in these 3 campaigns, I'm just going to go ahead and select them. Advantage Plus campaign, of course, is going to keep running. This was some of our best performing ad sets and campaigns. So just kept these running because once again, we knew that the performance had been skewed, especially because of the ad account ban, plus because of the competitors coming in. So we did not want to take any chances and blow a lot of money on it just trying to revive it. And this is the kind of mistake that I do see a lot of people make. They get emotionally attached to a project, to a product, and they keep giving it CPR, trying to revive it back to life. Sometimes you just got to let it die out slowly. You can still, get a lot of profits out of these, and that's what we did here. So again, you can see in these 3 campaigns, it's only just these 6 ad sets running, right? Only 6 ad sets running. 1 keyword testing campaign, sorry, 2 keyword testing ad sets, 3 broad and 1 Advantage Plus. Simple as that. Kept it simple. Only the best performers. Let it run out. Almost hit a 10x ROAS. We actually did because again, did not count the missing purchases because Facebook somehow screws up with the tracking. So sometimes that happens, and if we count that in, we did hit a 10x ROAS. Spent 67,000 rupees in the whole week. This is not a day, this is a week, right? I know the performance is not as good, but still made 6,24,000 in revenue, right? Now the last week was we actually end this project on the 25th, so I'm going to show you the last 2 days on how we actually killed the product completely. But let's go to the next week, which is the 17th to the 23rd. As you can see, we just added some little new ad sets here. These 6 had already been running. Once again, no changes whatsoever. Increased the ad spend a little bit. I mean, actually quite a bit. We 3x'd our ad spend, as you can see, from 67 to 2,12,000, right? And just started testing these creatives. Again, these are just creatives. That's it. Again, add 7 creative with just a duplicate and no comments, right? We just made sure that all of the negative comments were removed if there were any. So we just refreshed the ad creative, made some changes to the headline or something, and then Facebook treats it as a completely new creative and you don't see any of the previous comments or likes on it. And as you can see, none of the performance was really good because at this point we knew that this product was dying out, right? Like 0.57, 1.57. It was completely dying out. Once again, spent 2,12,000 to make back 14,78,000 for a 7x ROAS. You can see gradually the ROAS is decreasing, and we know that it's time to wrap this whole thing up. At this point, we stopped, getting any inventory whatsoever because we knew we had to liquidate everything that we had through the RTOs, through the existing inventory. So we did not purchase any more inventory for that as well. Now, the last 2 days, let's go through them, right? That's the end. So 24th was the second last day. Once again, same 3 campaigns are running, right? No changes. We essentially just, killed off the new ads and new creatives that we were trying because we knew there was no point anymore, right? So that's what we did. Let our trusty 6 ad sets run. As you can see, they did 188 purchases on this day with a 7x ROAS, still 1,70,000 in sales. By the way, don't get me wrong, the revenue is low, the ROAS is low, but we are still profitable. We are making profits, right? And I'll explain why we actually stopped the project even though we were making profits, because that's a question that some people might have after this, right? Now, On the last day of the campaign of the whole project, 25th of September, you can see that we again just let these 6 ad sets do their thing, and that's it. 7.18x ROAS, just a little bit higher than the previous day. But since this was the last day, the ad spend was quite low, 13,000 rupees to make back 94,000 rupees, almost a lakh, right? Now, this was the whole project. I hope you learned something on how I make my decisions when it comes to scaling projects, skilling projects, and what to do and what not to do. And I'll give you a whole overview. We started this on the 21st of August and did this till the 25th of September. So all in all, we spent 6,67,419 rupees to make back 58,447. This is a little bit higher because of the untracked purchases. This data I'm going to show you on my Shopify dashboard as well, so you'll know what the true data here is. And the overall ROAS for this project was 8.69 according to Facebook Ads Manager, right? So that's about it for the Ads Manager side. I hope it's clear. I hope you got some value then and you understood how to make media buying decisions, because this is the skill that you're trying to learn. If you're watching this video, this is the skill that you're trying to learn. And if you did find this useful, I would highly appreciate that if you subscribe and actually leave a comment on what you found the most useful, right? So let's move on. I'm going to take you into my Shopify dashboard now and show you the real numbers. Alright, welcome to the Shopify dashboard. I'm not going to blur out anything here, so everything is very, very transparent, and I'm going to make sure that you guys get the whole picture of how this project worked. So as you can see on the 20th of August, where one day before us starting the project, we have no sales, it's 0 rupees. On the 21st, you can see we start getting sales, as you can see here. So I'm just going to make this to 21st August to the 25th of September. And as you can see, the total sales are actually 71 lakhs. Now, again, this is also not the right data because this 71 lakhs also contains some other products that we were testing in the middle. So these are not the real numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into reports here and we're going to go to sales by product and we're going to choose the same timeline here, right? So we're going to choose 21st of August to the 25th of September. And as you can see, this was our portable car vacuum cleaner. And you can see our total sales were actually 59,48,683. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page once again, just so the data is proved and clear, right? So once again, ProVac portable car cleaner, 59,48,683. So those were our real sales, including all the untracked purchases from Facebook, because I think Facebook showed us 58,447 rupees. So just 1.5 lakh extra, nothing major, nothing really, groundbreaking. But yeah, I hope this data is clear. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the whole profit and loss statement, which I'm sure you guys have been waiting for. So let's dive right into that part. Alright, welcome to the last part of this video, the last part of the project, which is the profit and loss statement. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. How much money did we actually make on this project? Let's figure it out. This Google Sheet will also be linked in the description so you can use it for your own business. Now, let's dive right into this. So our total ad spend for the project was 6,67,419, as you can see on the Facebook Ads Manager as well, from the 21st August to 25th September. So we've input that here. The total number of orders that we got was 6,622, as shown by Shopify right here. And our total revenue was 59,48,683, once again shown by Shopify right here. Now, the delivery percentage for this project was 71%. I know that's not too high, but that's also not very low considering we are operating in a cash on delivery market in India. So that's not, it's right there in the middle. It's not too high, not too low. We were happy with what we got. This is just the case in a cash on delivery market, and that's totally fine, right? So I'm going to type 0.71 here. The delivered revenue essentially now becomes 71% of our total revenue because the rest of it got RTO'd, so we cannot count that as revenue. So to calculate that, we're just going to multiply the two. So equals this multiplied by 0.71. So our actual revenue now becomes 42,23,564, right? So this is not the actual revenue. This is the actual revenue. The average order value is very simple to calculate. We simply divide the total revenue by the total number of orders, which is 898 rupees. As you saw, we actually sold the product for 899, but of course the sheet is miscalculating it a little bit because of all the decimals and stuff. So it's 898.32. The cost per acquisition or cost per order, how much did we pay Facebook to get one order, is once again very simple to calculate, is the total ad spend divided by the total number of orders. So we paid 100.79 rupees to get one order. Now, as you'll see on Facebook, it's actually saying 103.73. Now that's because Facebook has not tracked all of the purchases. There's some mistracking. As you can see, the number of orders is also not equal. So this is our real cost per acquisition, 100.79. Now, the total number of delivered order becomes very simply 71% of the total orders, right? So we're going to put that formula here. So 0.71 multiplied by 6622. So I'm going to remove the decimal from here. So we actually delivered 4,702 orders, right? So what that means, the RTO orders were simply total number of orders minus the delivered orders, because the rest of them became RTOs, which is 1920 orders, right? So this is a total number of delivered orders, total number of RTO orders. Now, what was the cost of the delivered orders? Since we delivered 4,702 orders and it cost us 190 rupees to purchase one unit of that order, it simply becomes 4,702 multiplied by 190, right? So 8,93,307 rupees was our cost of goods sold. Now, shipping cost, of course, we have to deliver these orders. So 110 rupees per order was our shipping cost, right? So 4,702 multiplied by 110. So it cost us 5,17,178 rupees to ship every order, to deliver every order. Now, of course, 1,920 units also got returned to us. So this is still our inventory. We've still put in the money, we've still invested the money to buy it. So we have to count this as an expense, right? Because we've spent the money on it. So 1920 multiplied by 190. So this is the inventory that we still had at the end of the project. We did something with it, which I'll tell you what it was, right? So 3,64,000 is still inventory in our hands. Now, of course, it costs to get the RTOs back to your warehouse, right? The shipping companies do not bear that cost. You have to bear that cost, right? So RTO cost was 120 rupees per order. And of course, 1920 orders were RTO'd. So we'll multiply 1920 by 120. So 2,30,000 was our RTO fees. Packaging cost, it cost us 35 rupees to package every order, including the material and the labor cost. And of course, every order had to be packed, not just the delivered order. So we have to multiply 6622 by 35. So 2,31,770 rupees was our packaging cost. Now, our gross profit comes out to be like this. This is how we calculate it, right? So total number of delivered revenue, actual delivered revenue, right, which is 42 lakhs, minus our ad spend, minus our cost of goods sold, minus the shipping cost, minus RTO inventory, minus RTO cost, and minus packaging cost. So our gross profit comes out to 13,18,572. Now, over that, we obviously had to pay salaries and, softwares that we used. So 90,000 rupees was spent on that. So our net profit is going to be gross profit minus the overheads, right? So it's 12,28,572. This is net profit before taxes paid, of course. Of course, we have to pay GST. GST is a part of Indian commerce, right? Indian e-commerce, just the whole Indian economy. You have to pay GST. So our output minus input, this is the GST that comes out that we had to pay to the government, which was 1,21,373. So, and we, like I told you, we also had 3,64,000 in our inventory, right? We didn't want to keep that inventory. So we sold this inventory in the market at a loss, and we only got 95,000 rupees. Oh, sorry, I'm typing it in the wrong place. Yeah, we only got 95,000 rupees back just by selling this inventory. It was worth 3,64,000, but of course, when you're selling it in bulk in the market, you have to sell it at a loss. So now our final profit becomes our net profit minus the GST that we paid to the government, plus the 95,000 that we got by selling the inventory, which comes out to 12,02,198. And a net profit percentage essentially becomes 12,02,000 divided by our overall revenue into 100, right? So which is 20.21%. So I hope all the numbers are clear. Once again, I'll be linking the sheet below so you can take a look at it. You can dissect it all you want. You can study it if you want to. So this will be linked below, and you can also use it for your own business. I hope this gave you an insight into how real numbers work in a real e-commerce business. There's a lot of factors that you need to consider when you're trying to calculate your profits. It's not as simple as revenue minus ad spend minus cost of goods sold. It's not as easy. Those are just surface costs. There's a lot of different costs involved in running a business, and all of these have been mentioned here. So I hope you use this formula sheet for your own business to calculate your real profitability, and that's how you build a real profitable business. So I hope you learned a lot from this live case study that I showed you right here. We broke down every simple step. I showed you the product, the website, the ads, the whole breakdown, the profit and loss statement. So I hope this gives you a clear idea on what it takes to actually scale a product in the Indian market. And by the way, this is one of our low scale products. The scaling is actually unlimited. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do in the Indian market to make a lot of money with e-commerce. We're in the golden era. And if you'd like to learn about e-commerce in detail, and if you want to learn all of these tactics, these tricks, and all of these skills, in fact, in detail, I do have a community. It's called Indian Ecom Mastery, where we do teach everything A to Z e-commerce. We already have 3,000 plus entrepreneurs being a part of that community. And if you would like to join, please click the link in the description. It'll be right there. And that's it. Please subscribe, please comment, please let me know what you liked so I can keep making these kind of videos. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.